and I am here today with animal communicator Melinda Donaldson. Hello, Melinda. Welcome to In the Spotlight.
Hi, Karen. Thank you very much.
I'm so happy that you're here, and I can't wait to hear about your work as an animal communicator. Why don't you jump right in and give us a little background? Where are you from? Where are you now? And how did you get started in this wonderful world?
Well, I am from Chillicothe, Ohio, and I'm still in Chillicothe, Ohio. I was gone for quite a while, but I moved back to my hometown. And when I did, I actually got laid off from my job and looked into some other things that I could do. And animal communication was one that just kept coming up for me. And I kept thinking, is that really a thing? Could, people can't really do that, can they? And I finally started taking some classes and found some really good teachers that showed me that yes, not only is this a thing that can be done, it's really something that I've been doing my whole life and didn't even realize it. So it kind of came naturally, but it was the turning point was when I got laid off and I was trying to find some other things to not only just fill my time, but do as a possible career. And I found it.
That's awesome. And isn't it amazing too how the universe will kind of put you in those predicaments and then it's up to you to pull the trigger on it. It's up to you to say, "Yes, I want to do this," and to follow your heart. I know for me it was, and it was kind of scary because I left a corporate job and there's a lot of unknowns and there's a lot of fear swirling around in your head. So I applaud you that you followed your heart and you followed your passion. And why don't you tell us about was there a pivotal moment or something that really just made you go, yes, this is truly it. This is truly what I want to do. Was there something that happened in your life, or what was that moment like for you?
Well, I had taken a an online class that was just a very short beginners class and was very frustrated. Was very frustrated. It just wasn't it just wasn't clicking for me. And one morning I had just woke up and I was laying in bed with all of my animals because I have a lot of animals. But I had several of my cats and my dog in bed with me, and it's just kind of that time when you're not quite awake and not quite asleep, and looked over and I started talking to my cat, and I'm like, wait a minute. And I was having a two-way conversation with my cat, and then I started talking to my dog, and it was just so unmistakable. I mean, there was no doubt in my mind I was communicating with these animals, and I'm like, I can do this. And that's what hooked me. And I after that I had to learn how to do this, and I had to learn how to do it well. It was addicting.
That's super cool. I love that. So
Yeah.
your animals are the ones that really are
Oh yeah.
responsible for you being here right now.
Most definitely.
That's
Most
so
definitely.
cool. I love that. And as an animal communicator, I'm sure you offer a couple of different services. Why don't you tell us what someone could expect if they booked a session with you, or if you have any specialties or any areas that you specialize in?
Well, I offer a lot of services, but I mainly do afterlife services. It seems to be uh, the type of clients that I've been getting, mostly from you, but I probably do 80%, a good 80% of afterlife sessions, and those are my heart. Those are my joy. And I hate to say it like that because it's someone else's misfortune. But what brings me joy about it is I get so many comments that people are saying that they feel so much better after the session, that they feel like the guilt has been lifted, um, and it really is a rewarding session to do. I would say that most people come back and say that they feel so much better afterwards, um, and it's just a very rewarding thing. I
I,
also do lost pets.
oh, lost pets. Oh, good to know.
I do living pets. I do behavioral issues, but the afterlife ones just, they have my heart. They really do.
Yeah, I know what you mean. They spoke to my soul too.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that. And is there any one particular maybe message or something that happened during a session that you can share with us, of course, anonymously, that the listeners would enjoy hearing? Like, was there one of those mind blowing moments where you're like, oh my gosh, what just happened here?
There have been many actually, but the one in particular happened recently that is just, it blew my mind. Um, I had actually a second session with a couple who have lost their dog. Their dog passed away, and in the last session that I had, at the very end, uh, the guy asked me. He goes, this is going to sound crazy. And I'm like, no, just let me have it because nothing's going to sound crazy to me. And he says, I, we have been having a really hard time with our neighbor dog. And they had a nickname for this dog and it wasn't the real name, so I'm going to say it. They called this dog Roscoe. And Roscoe had been barking. I guess his owners had been leaving him outside a lot, to the point where they had to move their bedroom because their bedroom was near their backyard where Roscoe was. And they moved into their guest room, and still he was being kept up all night long by this dog. This dog was barking nonstop. They had talked to the neighbors. They had went as far as making a police report. It was a really bad situation. This dog was barking all the time, keeping him up all night. So he said, "Could you ask my dog if he could help us with this?" I'm like, "Sure, I'll ask, sure." So I asked the dog, and the dog comes back and says, "Whenever you need my help, just ask me. I'm here for you." And so that's what I told him. You go, I said, yeah, just think of him and ask him out loud. Say, "Hey, we really need your help with Roscoe right now. Could you help make this dog be quiet?" 2 days later, I get an email. She tells me that within 30 seconds of them asking their dog to help them with Roscoe, Roscoe quits barking. It happened 2 nights in a row. And I haven't heard from them since. I'm assuming that this has happened. This,
Wow.
this continued to happen because she said both nights they go to bed, the dog's barking its head off just like normal. They ask their dog for help. Within 30 seconds, the dog shuts up.
Wow. Wow. It is truly amazing, isn't it? And then
It is.
that saying is true. Sometimes you just have to ask and you shall receive,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So, I mean, that just almost seems impossible, but it's real. And these kinds of things happen. And it's so
yeah,
exciting when it does because sometimes the answers are really simple and they're right
yeah,
there in front of us. All we have
yeah,
to do is ask. So,
exactly.
I love that story.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Tell us about any upcoming events, or do you have any classes that you're going to be conducting, or what's coming up in your future as an animal communicator?
I do. In starting in August, I'm going to be offering classes. I'm going to be offering beginning animal communication classes, and I'm going to be doing both group classes and one-on-one sessions if people would be interested in doing one-on-one
Right
sessions with me.
on.
Yeah,
And just for those who are watching, this is August of 2021,
yeah,
because who knows, this may be out there
yeah,
for a long time. So we want to make
yeah.
sure that everybody knows this is August of 2021. So that's exciting.
It is.
And if someone wants to find you, obviously your website, the link will be here in the, the bio part. But where can we find you? Give us the name of your website, and are you on social media, or where is Melinda Donaldson?
It is messageswithmelinda.com, and I am on Facebook, and I am also on Instagram, and both under Messages with Melinda.
Awesome. And Melinda is also on my book a session page. She
Yeah,
is the first one there when you go to book a session. So you can check out her bio and reach her through my website as well. And again, there's nothing crazy about the spelling. It's just messageswithmelinda.com. So real easy to find you. And thanks so much for being with me here in the spotlight. And I wish you all the best with your upcoming classes and everything else that's going to unfold for you. So thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.